Hey everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the Aqueon Rainforest Conservation Kit series. If you haven't already seen part 1, you can click the card on screen to go check that out first. Today we will be going step by step through the setup of the tank and getting it ready for some Project Piaba fish. So the first thing we are going to do is rinse the included 2 bags of substrate along with the driftwood pieces and the filter cartridge. But before we get into that, let's head on over and check out the sponsor for today's video, who is also helping us to support Project Piaba. Thank you Petzotics.com for joining us in supporting Project Piaba. At Petzotics.com for the rest of January 2020, use promo code FRF30 to receive 30% off of your entire order, and 8% of their profits will be donated to Project Piaba. Not only do they have everything you need for your aquarium, they've also got you covered for your reptile and bird needs too. All of that plus great pricing and top-notch customer service really does make Petzotics.com the place for all your pets' needs. Don't forget to check them out on YouTube also. Links are in the description below along with the promo code. We now have our substrate, driftwood, and cartridge rinsed off. I will note that I did not boil the driftwood because I wanted as much of the tannins as possible released into the aquarium water. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the cartridge unit for the filter back together. As you can see, both the cartridge and the housing clearly indicate front on them. This is a very simple task and can even be done one-handed. Although I did clearly fumble at first, nevertheless, mission accomplished, so let's set that aside. I will say that I rinsed the substrate multiple times to get it clean enough for my liking and to avoid clouding the aquarium water. It's a very light, almost fluffy feeling substrate and wants to stick to you once it gets wet. I'm curious to see how it's going to act once it's submerged in the aquarium and we start adding some plants to the aquarium-scape. And now we're getting to the fun part. I started by gently pouring the substrate into the aquarium. As I mentioned, it's a relatively light substrate, so I wasn't too worried about it hurting the glass. Just take it nice and slow and you should be fine too. Or you could scoop it in a little bit at a time if that makes you feel better. The 10 pounds provided with the kit I find is quite adequate for giving decent coverage of the aquarium bottom. I'm enjoying the color of this stuff and it's really easy to work with and manipulate. Now I'm no aquascaper, but I'd say you could probably do some really nice designs with this substrate material. That being said, I just spread it around fairly evenly across the bottom and figured I would be moving it around anyway when I added the driftwood. And just look at the color of this stuff. The hardscape, fish, and plants are going to contrast nicely against it as we get those things added. Speaking of which, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below which Project Piaba fish you would like to see in this tank in part 3. Also hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying this series, and if you're looking forward to seeing fish added in the next part, do me a favor, subscribe and tap the notification bell if you haven't already. If you are wanting one of these kits for yourself, you can visit projectpiaba.org and click on the Store Locator tab to find the nearest location to you. And now for the 2 pieces of included Malaysian Driftwood. It did take me a little while to decide how I wanted to position these in the aquarium, and again, I'm no aquascaper, so I just placed them in how I found them aesthetically pleasing and ensured they were stable and not a danger to the fish. Feel free to position the wood in whatever way you would like in your aquarium for your own viewing pleasure. It did take me a little bit of playing around, and I finally decided I was going to go for the look of having one solid piece of wood. After a little bit of adjustment, burying things in the substrate, moving around a little bit, I finally got it, and I think it turned out rather nicely. We'll see when we get the water in, I suppose. Time to get the filter together and get it installed on the aquarium. When your filter gets clogged, water will backflow, making a connection between these 2 sensors and turn the light on, indicating that it's time to service the unit. The intake tube mounts on easily enough. Just slide it on and it's good to go. This is an Aqueon 10 model filter that comes with the kit and does feature the in-tank motor. Time to watch me fumble around with some more filter parts. Next we're going to install the biomedia grid, which slides in easily enough once you get it properly oriented. This once again did take me a second, but as you can see, once you get it figured out and the sponge is facing down, it slides right in. And then we will add the bioholster grid, which holds the filter cartridge. Again, it clearly says front on it. Now this filter is a snug fit and does fit nicely against the aquarium glass once you get it wiggled past the trim. Just be easy with it, take your time, and it'll go right on the aquarium. Now we will have to do some side-to-side adjustment once we add the hood, but for now onto the included heater. It is an Aqueon preset aquarium heater with on-off indicator. We just need to get the twist tie off of the cord, which is of course sometimes easier said than done, and straighten out the cord a bit. I did have to fight the cord a little bit just to get it straightened out. But keep in mind, neither the filter nor the heater are going to be plugged in at this point. It is actually recommended not to plug the heater in for 30 minutes after water is added. But I'm going to be placing the heater near the filter intake as recommended in the directions. I've just got to get the cord adjusted so that the indicator light is directed toward the front of the tank. I want it that way so that I can monitor when it comes on and when it goes off, just to make sure that if it does malfunction, I will be aware of it. A little bit more cord manipulation and we will be in business. I'm really starting to think I should have taken the heater out of the package and straightened the cord a fair bit before filming this. Nevertheless, that's taken care of, and we're going to sit the top back on the filter. It simply drops right in place, and there's your finished look. Alright, we are almost ready to add water to the aquarium, at which point we will add the Kent Marine Black Expert and the Aqueon water conditioner that was included. But before that, let's install the stick-on temperature gauge. Now you can put this just about anywhere you would like to. I'm going to put it down in the bottom right corner of the tank if you're looking at it directly, just because I feel that that's the best place to gauge the temperature and it's going to be the furthest away from the heat source. Simply peel the backing off of the adhesive like so, and then place it in your desired location on the aquarium. I didn't get it on perfectly straight the first time, so I wanted to pull it off and get it right. There we go, much better. I still feel like something's missing from this setup. I know I've got the hood to add as well, but it's just like there's something that doesn't quite sit right with this aquarium setup. Oh wait, I think I know what it is. Wait just a second. Hey, that's more like it. I'm going to take the top off of the filter to show you the perks of having the motor submerged in the tank. As you can see, there is no water currently in the filter. Basically what we're going to do is simulate the filter restarting as though the power had gone out. A lot of your standard aquarium filters that have the motor inside of the filter versus sitting down in the tank can sometimes have issues repriming. Once we get this plugged in, you'll see that it only takes a matter of seconds and water will be flowing swiftly through the aquarium. No problem at all in case of a power outage. As you can see, we've got a good strong flow going into the tank from this filter. I think the size of this filter is going to work perfectly for the footprint and size of this aquarium. And yes, once again, I'm having to fight the cord on the heater. I will say that once I got the hood on and got everything in place, I've not had to go back and make any adjustments to the heater. It was just a matter of getting that new cord tension out of it the first time around. Now we're going to go ahead and replace the top on the filter and add our Aqueon water conditioner. It does come with enough to treat up to 20 gallons, and this is a 13-gallon tank. I went ahead and used the whole package. Simply open it up and dump it in. If you wanted to, you could measure out mLs to get it just right. I saw no need, as it wasn't going to hurt anything to have a little extra water conditioner in the aquarium. And now time for the Kent Marine Blackwater Expert. It does say on the bottle to shake well before using, and the dosing directions are 5 mLs per 10 gallons every week and after every water change. It does also note that the dose can be safely doubled for breeding or in cases of having hard water. Even though I did give it a good shake before starting filming this video, I wanted to give it one more shake before putting it into the aquarium. Now I only started with 10 mLs when I dosed it just to see what it was going to look like in the tank. I did eventually come back and add another 10 mLs for a total of 20 mLs going into the 13 gallons. That shouldn't be a problem whatsoever, and it gave it a really nice smoky look. As you can see, even with just the first 10 mLs, it's already changing the coloration in the water. Things are starting to come along quite nicely, and now we can move along to the final piece, the hood. It does have a pop-out section at the back to accommodate the included filter, and a slot for the heater cord and any airline that may be added into the aquarium if you wanted to run a sponge filter in addition or in place of. Just a couple of little bends and wiggles and that pops right on out. Simply slide it in place. There's that side-to-side movement on the filter that we already talked about. Adjust that heater cord one final time and we are good to go. Now all you have to do is simply plug the cord in. Now I've already got the other end plugged into the wall. We'll just plug it in right here. Flip the switch and we are in business. I've got to say I'm absolutely in love with the styling of this kit, and of course the fact that 10% of the net sales from these kits go to help Project Piaba. Of course, one final feature, it does have the flip up feeding port so that you don't have to remove the hood in order to feed your fish. There you have it. Our tank is set up and just needs to be cycled so that we can get it stocked with some Project Piaba fish. Again, I want to say a huge thank you to Aquatic Marine, my local fish store, for supporting Project Piaba by carrying these tanks and Piaba fish, and a big thank you to Petzotics for their support of Project Piaba and the channel. Those links will all be in the description down below. But thank you all for watching, and until next time, keep your fish healthy and catch yourself a little fish room fever.